The ETA is a custom tool developed in SharePoint 2013 as a one-stop shop for managing your projects. You will see how it helps you manage your projects. This includes budget, schedule, tasks, risks, priorities, and elements of your workforce workload. First, let's start with some basics. The ETA divides projects into groups called programs. Similarly, these programs are grouped by portfolios. Every project, program, and portfolio has a dashboard summarizing information for the entities inside of it. Similarly, there are views summarizing all projects, all programs, and all portfolios. Finally, there are views intended for the individual, such as My Dashboard, the manager, such as the Manager Dashboard, and the executive, such as the Executive Dashboard. An average worker coming to the site for the first time will probably find information on their project by clicking on My Dashboard. The My Dashboard view lets your employees report progress on tasks they are assigned. It also shows projects and programs the employee has access to. We'll elaborate on this later. For now, we're going to use this view to open a project dashboard. The project dashboard displays all information for a specific project. Budget information is in the budget section. Clicking on a total lets you see further details. Similarly, you can see the expenses for a given project by clicking on the expense total. And that information is graphed to the right of it. The schedule is managed using phases and milestones. Phases are in yellow on the top Gantt. Milestones are in green. You can see phase details by editing a phase in the Phases section. You can see a milestone detail by finding it in the Tasks section. Speaking of tasks, you can task your employees in the Task tab at the bottom. Editing a task allows you to see details about it. Clicking on the Logs tab lets you see progress made on a task. The actual hours and planned hours for all tasks are used to suggest project dates. So as more and more tasks are added, a new date will be suggested, which is derived from the planned and actual hours. Risks are on the Risk tab. You can see more details by clicking the Edit button. If you alter the seriousness or the likelihood, the grade of the task will automatically update. Documents are stored in the Documents tab. And the overall progress of your employees is displayed on the Resources tab. There is more detail to be found on the project dashboard, such as the POCs and the various dates and project status information. But what I think is cool is this little dashboard at the top right of the corner. Each of these topics, health, schedule, scope, and budget, represent how this program is doing in those specific areas. Now you can update that information by editing the project status, changing the number from 3 being bad to 1 being good, and then save, and you're going to notice the colors update on the top. Now that by itself isn't revolutionary, but what I think is really cool is that when you go to all projects here on the left, what you're going to see is that same dashboard from every project in the entire organization displayed all in one place. So at a glance, you can easily see how everyone is doing without having to get in the weeds. But if you want to, you can. Maybe you need to investigate this red on general government maintenance. Okay, so that's the last of the project details. Let's go ahead and move on to the program. dashboard, which is, we could get there by going to My Dashboard on the left, like we did earlier, but I'd like to do that using all programs instead, just to show you how easy it is to get around in the system. There's more than one way to get to any spot, and there's no real right or wrong way to do it. So we're going to see the general government one. We are now on a program dashboard, and we see a summary of all information for all projects in this program. You should see familiar elements from the project dashboard reused here. You'll notice the budget is very similar to what you saw on the projects dashboard. It's altered to include program budget, a summary of each of the projects, and then a total. And just like on the project, clicking on it gives you more detail. The schedule still shows phases, but now excludes milestones, since the view overall excludes tasks, and tasks are a type of milestone. Risks and issues are very similar, just now they group by the project. Documents show documents only for the program itself and not its underlying projects. An interesting feature of the ETA is that you have the ability to add links in with your documents. So now we have links to Yahoo and Google included under the ideation section of the documents for this program. The resources are very similar, just now they are summarizing all projects instead of just one specifically. And if you wanted to see more details on a specific project, you can click on the blue arrow next to the project. Next, let's go over a portfolio dashboard. To do that, we're going to click on Portfolios and click on District Heights City Government. At the portfolio level, we have gotten more abbreviated. A portfolio itself does not have a budget, but is instead a summary of the budgets of the programs and projects underneath it. Clicking on a total gives you more information. Documents aren't available from the portfolio dashboard. Risks and issues summarize information from both the programs and the project levels, and resources continue to summarize all task information from all projects inside the portfolio. If you want to see specific information on a project, you can click on the blue arrow here, or if you want to see the program, you can click on the blue arrow here, and you see a summary of how each of the programs are doing, just like you saw in the projects earlier, the all projects view. Next, let's go over My Dashboard. If you were assigned tasks at the project dashboard, this is where you would go to manage those. You can filter the tasks by the status just by clicking on the text there. You want to remove the filter, you can. If you want to filter by a specific project, you can click on that and it will filter the items by that project. You can click on this to clear it, and you can see all of the documents displayed in one place for all of your projects on the bottom left. As you make progress on a task, you can click on the clock, and then you can log things that you did as you did it to report progress. If you want to see the progress that other people did, you can go to the log section and view the work items log history. Now, if you don't have permissions at the project dashboard, then you're not going to be able to change everything in this list. You'll need to have an upgrade in permissions to do that. Next, let's go over the manager's dashboard. The manager's dashboard is very similar to the My Dashboard, except that it's geared for a manager. So you can do things like add time to a specific task or look at the work log like you could earlier. except now you have an additional section, the tasks at risk, which just means that these tasks are tasks that are late. And you can see who they belong to, so you can give that person a call and address it. So if you want to see tasks for a specific person, you can click on that person and then it'll filter it and you'll see only tasks assigned to that person. And you can clear that by clicking the clear button here. And next we'll go over the executive dashboard. From the executive dashboard, you will see information retrieved from all projects in the entire site. As an executive, you will have read permissions to any of this content, so you can use the search bar here at the top to find a specific item, and then again clear the filter. Otherwise, if you don't want to go to a specific project and view the information there, you can view a generic summary of all budget, risk, and issues and unassigned tasks in the entire site all in one place. It's a very generic view, so I won't go into a great deal of detail. Just give you a second to digest it. All right, and let's go ahead and go to the general admin section. The general admin page is a page used mostly for administrative purposes, like defining permissions to a program, portfolio, or project. I won't go into a great deal of detail on this, just to instead just show you that you have the ability to restrict permissions at the portfolio, the program, and the project level. Similarly, you have the ability to link a project to an external subsite, which would give you a place outside of the ETA to work on project-related things and then be able to refer to it quickly from the ETA project dashboard. In addition to that, you have the ability to use archives, where you can archive a portfolio, program, or project and then restore it later. And another feature that works only in IE is the reports. This feature uses the SQL Server reporting services in order to quickly and easily use a report builder or Visual Studio to build a report, and then using the data information from the ETA. So we happen to have one already made here, and it's showing you the work items associated with all projects in the entire site. We have our custom VHCA logo up here, and the information's already up and displayed. All right, that concludes all the features of the ETA. I hope you enjoyed this and have a nice night.